All right, welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen, and today we are diving back into the prospect preview videos that I am so far behind on. I don't even want to talk about it or think about it because it will stress me out. Today we are talking about an edge defender who could very well be rocking the horns this season, and that is none other than Demian Robinson, but you've probably heard of him by the name of Chop Robinson, which is the name he is going to be using, I would imagine, moving forward. That's what I see everywhere. So we're going to get into whether or not he makes sense for the Rams. We're going to get into everything. I'm sure you guys have missed these because I haven't done one since Laiatu Latu, but let's dive into it. So 1-year starter, Chop Robinson, initially started his college career at Maryland, transferred to Penn State. I think this is someone right away, just to give you a warning. If you're looking for a guy that's going to lead the country in sacks, he's going to lead the country in pressures. He had tons of production. That's not Chop, and that's okay because that wasn't Danielle Hunter either, who I would compare him to. I don't do player comparisons very often. I see a lot of Danielle Hunter in Chop Robinson. For starters, you talk about his get-off. It's easily the quickest first step in the draft and one of the quickest first steps that you'll see in the last 5 years of the NFL draft. The only edge prospect, in my opinion, in this class that I've watched that has rare traits. Like, I love Laiatu Latu and what he brings to the table. We will talk about Jared Verse. I like Jared Verse. I like guys like Braylon Trice. I'm a big fan of Austin Booker coming from Kansas. As far as guys with rare traits you don't see every draft, this is the type of talent we're talking about in Chop Robinson. He's got incredible bend off the edge. It's going to allow him to get around and to the quarterback. And once he gets by his man initially, he accelerates like a laser pursuing that quarterback. So, look, beyond quick twitchiness on full display, very quick twitch athlete. He has this natural leverage he's able to use and, really gets great power, great leg drive, which is also underrated because people just think that he's this speed rusher. They will have you believe that he's just this boomer bust prospect. And I went into, watching him, hearing that and thinking, okay, am I going to come away thinking this is a boomer bust guy? And to be honest with you, I think he's more boom than bust. I don't see a lot of bust potential. I could see a scenario there, but I think it's going to be, the idea of him landing in a bad situation, the coaching isn't great. That is really the only way I think he busts. I think he has too much here to not get the most out of in an NFL coaching, position. So, look, he's got an underrated arsenal of pass rushing maneuvers. You listen to other people talk about him, and it's like they think he just has one move, and it's a speed rush, which isn't even a move. It's a type of, way that you rush the passer. It's not necessarily a maneuver. So I see hand usage. I see a guy that can use, he doesn't use it all the time, but he could use it, a spin move, ghost move. He's got some moves there, okay? I think he has an underrated arsenal, not just a speed guy. Plus, he can use speed and convert it to power as well. And he's got a relentless motor. The effort is truly nonstop with this guy. He is not going to give up on a play. I love that about anybody. But, you talk about the whole we not me mentality for the Rams and this being a predominantly Rams channel. Although if you're not a Rams fan, you still can learn a thing or two about Chop if you haven't already. I just think he makes sense there. So underrated power, willingness in the run game. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this guy is not a run guy, okay? This guy can only be in on passing downs. I think that is ridiculous. If you watch Chop Robinson, he is not the best run defender in the league. He's not the best run defender in the country. Then he might not be better than Adisa Isaac, who is across from him at Penn State. However, he is good in the run game, and he has a willingness in the run game. He's good at setting the edge in the run game, and he doesn't get enough credit for it. Another thing, he has that kind of Aaron Donald quick first step, lightning quick. I can't stress that enough. It's not just, okay, we see this every day. No, like the get off is like AD in a sense. And when you lose a guy like Aaron Donald and you can add somebody like Chop Robinson, is he Aaron Donald? No, they don't even play the same position. But when you talk about having a guy like Aaron Donald that is that quick to penetrate a backfield, now adding a guy like Chop Robinson is going to give you that quickness. And there lies a big reason why he didn't have a ton of production. Because, you know, a guy like Chop Robinson is coming in and you can see him. He's going to, you know, light up the backfield and someone else can come in, clean up, and get the sack. You know, Chop is going to put the pressure on, you know, the backfield. And so to me, he has one of the highest ceilings of any player, regardless of position in this draft. That's what I will say. Those are all the strengths. Let's talk about the weaknesses. After a word from our sponsor, Mantis Sleep, which, by the way, you can get your Mantis Sleep purchase 10% off using our promo code JKBogan. That's right, promo code JKBogan will get you 10% off your Mantis Sleep purchase. Check it out. Link is in the description. And I'll tell you right now, if you don't want to grab the sound mask that I use, that's okay. There's plenty of them on the website. You have plenty to choose from. Accessories as well. If you ever want to swap out any of the eye cups for a steam cup or, you know, a colder one, by all means, you can do that all on the website there. They have everything there. Heck, if you're going on a trip, they actually have those travel pillows. So that's really cool as well. You can check it all out there. Manasleep.com. Use promo code JKBogan. Get 10% off. Now back to the video. So weaknesses for Chop Robinson. He's still raw in a sense. Doesn't have the most refined technique as a pass rusher. That's to be expected. Okay. This guy is still young, 21 years old. Just turned 21 about 2 months ago. So you're still have a little bit of youth there. You know, like mentioned, Laiatu Latu, who's going to be brought up a lot, I would assume, in the comments section. He's 23. He has neck issues in the past, so there is some stuff there. But the raw factor and the fact that he's a little greener, it does not bother me, because I think when you look at the coaching, especially for like the Rams, I think they can really get the most out of him. He needs to be better at block deconstruction and, you know, shedding blocks. You know, at the point of attack, there are times where he will get overrun, for lack of a better term. And, you know, that it sucks. I mean, you'd like to see him win those every time, but that's just not really feasible. You're not going to win every single one-on-one. However, I would like to see him get a little bit better at breaking up those blocks. He has an underrated arsenal like we talked about, but he needs to diversify his pass rush plan a little bit. And this might be a little ticky-tack for me to even bring this up, might be a little nitpicky, but you can just see it. There are times where he just wants to, you know, run along that, you know, that arc, run under a table, use that bend, use that explosiveness and the speed and everything. When maybe it makes sense to go inside or throw a spin move or throw a ghost move, you know, things like that. So, you know, you can see that on tape. Sometimes he like really is just, you know, set in his ways where he wants to win in this way. And it's not, you can tell ahead of time, it's not the best way for that situation. But again, the NFL, you know, you can work on that. He's a little light. May have to sacrifice some speed to gain some NFL weight. He ran a 4.48 40, so he is wicked fast. I mean, one of the fastest to time a 40-yard dash out of all edge defenders in the Combine's history. Overall, he needs more refinement across his game as a player. And his production was not as impressive as his athleticism would have you assume it would be. So with that said, it doesn't bother me, of course, but we're nitpicking, right? Weaknesses, always got to bring them up. So with that said, final thoughts on Chop Robinson. he's this year's boomer bust prospect. Everyone is going to be split on. For me, he's the best edge defender I've watched. Now, Latu is the most refined in a sense where the pass rush plan is just evident. I do worry about him getting overpowered, by bigger, targets and things like that. Verse has the most power, but I think the most explosive, the one that is going to be a knife in your gut on an offensive line, is Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson is the game breaker, okay? Latu is going to be very good, I believe. I think Verse is going to be very good. I think Chop Robinson, when teams are trying to hit you and hammer you over the head with the quick passing game, Chop Robinson's ability to get to the quarterback as quick as he can get to him is going to make that hard. So I think for me, Chop offers this elite level explosion that you just don't see. These elite level traits, the bend, the burst, but just all of it. And I just think you take a guy like that, you put him in the NFL with NFL coaching, you put him alongside guys like Kobe Turner and Bobby Brown and Byron Young. You give him the secondary that the Rams currently have, going out and getting Cameron Curl, Quentin Lake, having guys that you just added in free agency as well, like Darius Williams and now Tre'Davious White. And I'm not going to lie, there's a lot to like there. So those are my thoughts on Chop Robinson in that sense. I think Latu, again, is more refined, but he's also 2 years older than him. And the concerns, I really do have concerns about the injury, the neck. I'd still draft Latu, but that still is in the back of my head. Chop has elite level traits without any sort of worry about his injury history. And again, he's 2 years younger. I think he's a potential top 10 prospect in this draft, regardless of position. I think he could slip because I think there's going to be teams that view him as being more raw. I think there are teams that are going to view him as while Jared Verse can be drafted by any team because he fits any type of defense, I think when you look at Chop, he's mainly going to be a 3-4 outside linebacker at the next level. With that said, it will take teams away that aren't interested in that. So that's something to keep in mind. I think the lack of production doesn't bother me in the slightest, though. And I think if you really take, again, a great coaching staff, you put him with that, I think then you got to take him. If you don't believe in your coaching staff, you think that this is more of a transitional year, and you just kind of have guys there that are probably going to be let go at the end of the season, do not take Chop Robinson if you want to keep your job. Because while I still think he could flourish anywhere, my biggest thing about Chop Robinson is going to be the fit, because I think if he wants to be maximized, he's going to need good coaching at the next level. I think he could end up being an elite edge rusher at the next level who turns heads as a much improved run defender. I'm going to go with that being in my projection for Chop Robinson. I think end of the day, you're looking at a guy who is going to be an elite pass rusher and is going to surprise a lot of people who've already been out on him as a run defender. PFF this past year in 2023 had him as the third pass rush grade, 61st in the run defensive department, and third overall. He had 4 sacks, 26 pressures, 1 penalty, 37th in pass rush production, 20.9 win rate, which is good for 14th in the league, 21 years of age, 6'3", 254 with a 4.48 40 time and a 1.56 split, 10-yard split. But what are our grades on him? That's what I got now. So, agility, 9.7 out of 10. Bend, 9.6 out of 10. Power, 8.7 out of 10. 8.6 run defense, 9.8 explosiveness, 9.6 motor, 8.5 tackling, 9.2 read and react, 8.8 hand usage, an 8.6 pass rush plan, which gives us a total of 91.1 out of 100, which does make Chop Robinson my number one edge defender that I've graded to this point, passing Laiatu Latu, who was 90.4. Now, understand this. Getting Latu, getting Verse, getting guys like that, Dallas Turner, Braylon Trice, these are all good prospects. The problem here is that I see a bunch of prospects that, while I have a really, really high grade on Latu feels like a Chris Long, a Connor Barwin in his prime. Chop Robinson feels more elite. He feels like a game breaker, a game changer. Those guys, like Latu, plug-and-play starter. Jared Verse, plug-and-play starter. Chop Robinson is somebody that I think if he hits his ceiling, he is going to be one of the best in this draft and one of the best in the league. And that is why I think, without a shadow of a doubt, he makes the most sense for the Rams out of any of these pass rushers, because you already invested a fourth rounder, or I believe a fifth rounder, in Nick Hampton out of App State. You invested a sixth round pick in O'Shawn Mathis. You invested a third round pick in Byron Young. This team needs to address the edge spot. However, they feel decently confident, especially now that you brought back Michael Hoyt. They seem to be decently confident into what they already have. They haven't signed anybody outside of bringing back Michael Hoyt. So Robinson, to me, is somebody that can come in and right away do what he does, but then you have him for the next round of Rams. So you're talking about 2024 and Robinson being a rookie. If you draft him in the first round, which he should be drafted in the first round, you might see him in your mock drafts in the second. I'm telling you, a guy with this level, these elite level traits, he is not going to be there in the first round. He is not going to make it in the second round, excuse me. And so we need to stop looking at him like he's a second round pick. And just because PFF has him at a certain spot doesn't mean that's where he's going. He's going to go probably in the top 15, the top 20. And so the Rams will have a tough decision to make. Will they trade up to get him? Will they want to trade down and hope he falls? I don't know. I think he fits what they look for. They look for guys with these elite traits because a team like the Rams knows they can coach these guys. That's the thing. They saw Puka Nacua for what Puka Nacua was. He was a talent, and they knew that they could coach him up. They knew they could coach up Byron Young. They saw Kobe Turner traits. So again, I'm not saying that it's a guarantee they'll draft him, but I am saying that it's a guarantee that he is the best fit for the Rams if he's available at edge, period. So might be a little bit of an adjustment here. I know not everyone is keeping their eye on necessarily Chop Robinson. It seems like everyone talks about Latu and Verse and Turner. But I'm going to say I think Chop Robinson is the best edge defender that I've scouted thus far. That could change. I don't see it changing, to be honest with you. I think he offers just this level, this elite level of traits that you just don't have in the other guys. And to me, when you're drafting at pick 19 and you're able to come away with a talent like that, that is a win. Whether they stay there or not remains to be seen. But I think when you trust your coaching staff as much as the Rams do, and you trust your scouts, I think the Rams are going to find a guy, whether it's Chop or not, they'll find a guy with crazy traits like that, have the ability to develop him, kind of like a Kobe Turner, and we will watch as they make everybody else look foolish. So again, Chop Robinson, big fan of his, my number one edge defender currently in the draft, currently in my top 10 on my board, period. But that's all I got for you guys. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. You could like, subscribe, and of course comment. And you can follow me on all social media at JK Bogan. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. I am a little, sick right now, so pushing through it. But, appreciate you guys and hope to see you guys soon. Later, folks.
Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community?
Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.